Welcome back to the Roundup. It is Friday, February 20th, 2026, and wow, have we got a big week to talk about. We're diving into a massive policy shift that's all about bringing defense spending back home to Canada. Then we'll look at the global scramble for AI supremacy, which involves some, let's just say, creative marketing. And finally, a really important debate over the conscience of science itself. So let's jump right in with the number that really sets the stage for our top story. 75%. Right now, that's how much of Canada's defense spending goes directly to firms in the United States. Yeah, a full 3/4. It's a pretty staggering number when you think about it, and it highlights a dependency that, well, the federal government is now trying to change and fast. And this is the new magic number. Within the next decade, Ottawa's goal is to completely flip that script. They want 70% of all defense contracts to go to Canadian companies. Now, this isn't just some minor tweak. This is a fundamental rewiring of our entire national strategy, a huge shift. So, what's really behind this big move? It's all laid out in Ottawa's new defense industrial strategy. The whole idea is to seriously boost our own homegrown innovation, strengthen our ability to make what we need right here, and of course, keep all that research and development money circulating in Canada. Okay, so let's break down the plan. It's built on a few core ideas. First, a clear instruction to prioritize Canadian-made stuff to hit that 70% target. And they're backing it up with some serious cash. We're talking $6.6 billion over the next 5 years. But for everyone listening, here's the most important part, the sectors they're focusing on. We're talking AI, quantum, aerospace, and shipbuilding. This whole strategy is basically designed to pour gasoline on the fire in the exact areas where Canadian researchers are already doing world-class work. And you can bet the academic community has noticed. The U15, that group of Canada's top research universities, they put out a statement almost immediately. They're thrilled. They see this as a clear signal that universities are no longer just on the sidelines. They're now seen as essential, core players in Canada's national security and innovation game. And this isn't just a bunch of policy documents sitting on a shelf. We are already seeing this stuff turn into action on the ground. Literally one day after the feds made the announcement, the Edmonton Region Defense Alliance was launched. You've got the University of Alberta, NATE, and a bunch of industry partners all joining forces to go after this new wave of funding, playing to their region's strengths in AI research. Now, Canada's big domestic push is happening while there's this incredibly intense global race going on in technology, especially in AI. And every country has a different strategy for how to win. As we're about to see, some of those strategies are more honest than others. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? As all these countries are scrambling to show off how technologically advanced they are and building up their own capabilities, how much does that made in Canada or made in India or made in wherever label actually matter? Well, a recent incident gives us a pretty hilarious cautionary tale. I promise you, you cannot make this up. At a huge AI summit in Delhi, a university was proudly showing off a robo-dog, kind of implying it was their own amazing creation. Well, it didn't take long for folks on the internet to point out that, hey, that's just a robo-dog you can buy off the shelf from a Chinese company. The university tried to call the backlash a propaganda campaign, but, the cat was out of the bag. It's a funny example for sure, but it points to a very real pressure, the global need to look innovative. And we're seeing nations take very different approaches to that pressure. On one hand, you have Canada's AI minister doing a big tour of the Middle East and India, trying to build economic partnerships. On the other hand, look at the UK. They just put a national security and spy tech expert in charge of their top AI center, the Alan Turing Institute. That sends a pretty clear message about their priorities. Amid all this high-stakes geopolitical maneuvering, it's just really cool to see what's happening at the community level. Right here in Canada, Acadia University decided to make its Intro to AI Literacy course totally free for the public. It's a fantastic move. It helps demystify all this complex tech and helps everyone get a better handle on the AI tools that are changing our world. That's absolutely crucial right now. Okay, so this global race for talent and tech naturally means more international partnerships. And for universities and researchers, this creates a genuine paradox. I mean, these collaborations are where incredible discoveries happen, but at the same time, they come packed with some major and often hidden risks. So first, let's just look at the pure opportunity here, because there's a lot of good news. A whole delegation of Canadian university presidents was just in India signing over a dozen new agreements. You've got Indonesia actively looking for UK partners to help them build 10 brand new universities. Malaysia and Indonesia are teaming up to create joint research clusters. I mean, the potential for progress is just enormous. But then there's the other side of that coin. A new report dropped this week that was a real bombshell. It found that nearly $1 billion, $943.5 million in U.S. federal funding, supported research collaborations with labs that the Chinese government itself has designated as military labs. Now, this isn't illegal, but it shows a massive blind spot where sensitive, publicly funded research could be directly helping the military of a strategic competitor. And these risks can look very different. You have the big institutional level risk, like with Carnegie Mellon's campus in Qatar, which is almost completely funded by the Qatari government. That creates a financial dependency that can't help but align the university's goals with that nation's goals. And then you get the individual level risk, which can sound like something out of a spy movie, like this recent case in the Philippines where an aviation student was arrested for spying after it turned out he was actually a licensed jet fighter pilot for China's military. All of this, the push for homegrown tech, the tricky balance of collaboration, the new fire hose of defense funding, it all eventually lands on the shoulders of one person, the researcher in the lab. And for a lot of them, it's raising some pretty profound ethical questions. As those lines between a university lab and a country's national defense strategy get blurrier and blurrier, scientists and engineers are really being forced to step back and ask a fundamental question about their work. What is its purpose? Who does it serve? And to what end? And some are pushing back hard. A group of over 250 quantum scientists has published a manifesto. They are calling on their colleagues to actually pledge not to help with the military development of their research. For them, this surge in defense funding isn't a golden opportunity. It's a threat to academic freedom and a dangerous step toward the militarization of their entire field. So that brings us to the crucial point, the question we're left with this week. As Canada and other nations pour billions into creating their own research capabilities for national security, who actually gets to draw the ethical lines in the sand? Is it the government writing the checks? Is it the funding agencies, the universities, or does it ultimately come down to the individual scientists at the lab bench? That's the question we'll leave you with. Thanks for joining us.